I'm Dr. Robert Wilford,
And I'm Sarah Furman.
and today we're going to be talking about taking a staycation. Not a vacation, but a staycation. You know, this time of year is a time when we're thinking about taking summer vacations, packing up the kids, doing a week or more vacation.
Family time.
Exactly, but what we found with the couples that we work with is this is also a really important time to take time away as a couple, just you and your partner.
Absolutely.
And leave the kids at home, actually.
Right.
And if you can do that in your hometown or somewhere close to your hometown, it's what we call a staycation.
Even in your house if you can't really afford, but time just for yourselves.
Right, and taking that time together, just the two of you, so you can rekindle that romantic together time and you can feel connected once again.
Right.
So let's be clear, when it comes to a staycation, we're not talking about a second honeymoon, because that's really big bucks.
Right.
And we're not talking about a week-long vacation. We're really talking about finding a hotel close to your home, checking in the afternoon as early as you can, staying the night, and then staying until 11 or 12 o'clock the next day. That's all we're talking about. Is like a 24-hour or 18-hour hometown staycation. And what we found is that couples really have time to rejuvenate and rediscover each other when they're spending this time together.
Right. They get to talk and just reacquaint themselves because they don't do it. Nobody has time.
Right, and if you remember back when you were first dating, that's when you
Always.
spent lots of time together. Because you're finding your partner to spend alone time with took priority.
It's kind of like a play date with a sleepover.
Yes, it's like a play date with a sleepover, and hopefully you have some great sex.
Yes.
So we're going to give you some tips today on how to plan your staycation, how to execute it, and a couple different versions of a staycation.
Right.
So first of all, what we're going to talk about is
Why it's important.
Why it's important.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's important.
See, because we do a lot of good courtship in the beginning. That's why you're together. And then somehow it fades.
Yeah, it totally fades. Because life gets in the way, our honey-do lists get in the way. We have kids, and they take all of priority.
Stress, work.
Absolutely.
In-laws, parents.
Absolutely. All that stuff gets just jam-packed in the way, and you find yourself putting your partnership last.
Right. And when that happens, you're not communicating real well anymore, and you begin having lots of misunderstandings and like
petty fights, petty arguments.
I don't understand why he doesn't know. I don't understand why she's still doing that. Blah blah blah.
And let me tell you, a staycation can just kind of put some oil back on the cogs of the engine, and everything runs a ton smoother.
Yes.
So what we'd like to say is, if you've never done a staycation, you might have to work up to this. So what we're going to talk about now is like a half staycation. That's really taking
it's a place to start. It's like 4 hours away, 6 hours away, 8 hours away. You can build. You can
Right.
Each time you can build them, because we suggest you do these more often than what you're doing now, which is probably not doing anything at all.
That's so absolutely the case, because couples find the time to deal with their own families, but they forget to deal with their partnership. So the first step is that you're going to want to find a way, if you have kids, or if you have animals, to either have someone come and tend to the kids, or put the animals in boarding, or have someone come and feed your dogs. When we take a staycation, we have a friend that we trade with who has cats. And so when he goes on his little staycations, we go and feed his animals. And when we go on ours, he comes and feeds ours in our own home.
Right. Or what we used to do is with our friends, so we would take the kids for overnight, so they'd kind of have they'd have their play date, and the parents would have a play date, and then another time we would trade, and they would take our children. So we knew where they were also playing. It was good, and it takes a little time to find the right people for that to happen.
And then what we suggest is finding an activity. Yes, so worth it. It's so worth it. The second part of a staycation is finding an activity. Maybe you just want to check into a hotel, have room service, have some hanky-panky, some great sex, and then come home. That could be an amazing afternoon staycation.
Right.
I can tell you that from personal experience. It's really mind-blowing when you can put everything aside and you hear the click of the hotel room, and you know, I am set for the next 6 to 8 hours.
Nobody's calling,
no interruptions.
Nobody's coming.
It's the greatest thing. Second only to a full-blown staycation, which is where you actually spend the night and you pick an activity to do, usually during the day while you're there, and then you spend the late afternoon or evening ordering room service or bringing food in. We're going to go over all that in a minute.
Yeah.
And it really helps you reconnect with your partner and discover things about each other that maybe you've forgotten all about because you've been deferring to your jobs, your kids, your housework, all those things.
We forget to go out and have dates.
Right.
I mean, and fun things like you did in the beginning in order to find out more about yourself. Because trust me, you don't know stuff about your partner because they've changed.
Right, a lot. And maybe the
Yeah.
partner that you used to think felt a certain way maybe feels a totally different way.
Right.
And that's why spending partner on partner FaceTime together in a hotel room or doing an activity is so very important.
Right.
So we're going to go over some details now so that you can plan your staycation and have a super successful one. The first thing you want to do is plan your staycation dates.
How do they know if they need one?
Everybody needs a staycation. That's what I'll tell you.
Yes.
If you're asking yourself, do I need a staycation? You so need a staycation.
And if you're doing a lot of that,
petty arguing and biting back and forth,
and all that kind of stuff, and that seems to have increased lately, then you really need one.
Yes, for sure. So the first thing you want to remember is that hotel prices vary wildly depending on the calendar date that you pick. I found that Saturday night, believe it or not, is a really good, Saturday into Sunday is a really good night because most places charge more during the week for business travelers.
Right.
And then you get nicked with...
Unless it's a holiday weekend.
Yeah, and then you want to avoid all holiday weekends because they're just too expensive. So what you do is you go to your website, and I'll tell you exactly where to go in a minute, and you type in some dates, and you see what the prices are like. And it will really surprise you at how different the prices can be when you pick your dates. Second, decide your budget for your staycation. Remember, this is not a regular vacation. This is a cheap and cheerful day and evening, like Sarah said, a sleepover with a play date.
Yes, play date.
And you can do almost a no-dollar staycation if you want. You could stay home. You could arrange with your friends to sit with your kids. And then you could plan to have all that evening to yourself in your own home. Or you can spend a couple $100. Hotel rooms, I found, usually are about $100 to $150, $175. Will get you a pretty good hotel room if you use the right websites.
Right. I mean, it's nice if you can use grandparents like for staying with your kids because they like it too. But again, if you have other parent friends who can do that, that's cool. And sometimes you'll have friends who will take care of your pets. You're not gone a long time. This isn't like a whole vacation-y thing.
Right.
It's
just an overnight.
Yeah.
Recently I had to hire some people to come help out at the house, and I used care.com, care.com. You've probably seen them on TV. The only thing I didn't love about it was they have a $60 membership fee for 3 months. What I loved about it was I could get people to come and do a myriad of things at my house, and I can pay through the app. So I thought that was really convenient. For me, it's worth it to pay a little extra,
simple.
And it's super simple. Another secret is bring supplies to your hotel room. Those are things you're going to need to eat and things you're going to want to have with you. Basically, I put those into 2 categories. Things you eat and things you're going to need for great sex. So a lot of hotels offer refrigerators and microwaves in the room. It's true.
Sure, it's fine.
You don't know how many couples come in and say, we forgot the lube, or we forgot massage oil, or we forgot any number of things. And it ruins the staycation. So first, think about food. We usually stop by a grocery store on the way. We pick up treats, some drinks, things that can be microwaved. Microwave popcorn is also really great, but it can get in your teeth if you're going to have sex, so watch that one. But it can be a huge savings because hotels charge a lot for the minibar.
They could bring those little things.
They could.
Yeah. Okay.
The next thing you want to think about is this going to be a stay-in or activity staycation? If it's an activity staycation, let me tell you about Groupon.
And we do suggest that you do activities. The first one, if you haven't done these, maybe you just want to like hang and rest and like because you're fatigued, and that's fine. But as you do future ones, you want to add activities because that's what really creates memories.
And I'm telling you, Groupon for the town that you live in, I live in Los Angeles, so it's amazing what we can find. I just found a trampoline park in my own hometown. It's like 5 minutes from my house. I can do a walking tour of historic Los Angeles. I can do any number of things.
Balloon things.
Restaurants at half price.
Yeah. They have all kinds of things that they have skate parks. They have all kinds of things that you can do. Whatever you used to like to do before, and you want to do it just because you haven't done it, horseback riding, whatever it is, they're going to have something.
And that's Groupon, GROUPON.com.
And most of you already know about it.
Right.
Use it. You're not using it.
Absolutely not using it. It's a problem. Groupon rocks. Yeah. The other thing I like to do is I like to call the morning, so I stay the night, and then the following morning you can call the front desk and tell them your plans have changed and ask them if they'll give you a late checkout. Some hotels will only give you an hour, some will give you none, but some will give you up to 3 hours. So you're checking out at 1 or 2 in the afternoon. It's like you got a whole nother bit of a staycation.
If they have a conference coming, or what's happening, the weekend, when it is. But it's worth asking. What can they say? No.
Right. That's all they can say.
That's where you were before. Yeah.
Now I'm going to give you some of our favorite websites for booking hotels and different things. The first is probably a website you've not heard of. It's called Agoda. I hope I'm saying that right. It's AGODA.com.
It's more important that you spell it.
Yeah, AGODA.com. The site is usually cheaper, in my experience, than other hotel offering websites. Yeah. And you can book rooms at the last minute.
And that's what's cool. You can do it at the last minute.
Yeah, and the prices are $10 to $20 cheaper than even kayak.com, which is another one I use, KAYAK.com. There's another great little app on your phone called Hotels Tonight. And you can go to Hotels Tonight, and they'll pick maybe 20 hotels in your area, and they vary in price from $100 to $700. But those are hotels that have agreed to give them special rates for hotels at the very last minute. That's why it's called Hotels Tonight. And it's with an S, and it's in the App Store on your phone. I use that all the time. And a little secret, you can even book a week or two ahead at those slash prices using Hotels Tonight.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And again, Groupon is an amazing thing. I recently did a staycation in Palm Springs, which is about an hour and a half from my home. And if you can stand it, I got the Red Lion Inn. It's not amazing, but it was a pretty nice suite. It was $55.
It's like a 3-star, 4-star.
It's like a 3-star hotel. And it was $55 a night, including breakfast for both of us. I thought that's amazing.
You did a whole bunch of other activities there,
Absolutely.
So it was worth it.
Absolutely. So we found zip lining that you could do, all kinds of great fun things.
It's nice to try things that you haven't done before that you can do together, because that really adds to the fun afterwards and the memories afterwards, and now you have something more together.
Right, and they also offer things like wine tasting, bar crawls, I think they're called, where you go to a bunch of different bars in one evening. They offer all kinds of great things on Groupon. So I would recommend looking at the websites we've talked about, the apps that we've talked about, and then also looking at Groupon for hotels.
Yeah.
Another word of wisdom from a seasoned staycationer, and that is you want to look to see if there is a resort fee. Recently, I stayed at the Sportsman's Lodge, and the hotel was $149 or $129, but they charged $25 at Sportsman's Lodge for a resort fee. I don't even know what that's about. I guess if you want to use the pool.
Because I think most 4- and 5-star hotels charge some kind of resort fee, and so you have access to stuff.
Right, and then they charged me another $25 for parking. So I was at almost $200 for a hotel room. I didn't think that was so worth it. So I would recommend that you call ahead and ask to see how much parking is, and to see if they offer a resort fee, which I don't care for, and also see if they offer free internet. Yes. And if it includes breakfast.
And sometimes if you just belong to their
rewards program,
their honors thing or their rewards thing, then just by signing up for that, you'll get the free standard Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And so, like we said, we'd like to encourage you to do this more often than less often. In fact, we recommend once a month if you want to keep your relationship fresh and alive.
Yeah. Because don't you want to play with your partner at least once a month? It's a play date.
It's a play date.
So it's once a month you do a play date.
With a sleepover and hopefully great sex.
Yes.
So it's summertime, and we hope you're thinking about your own staycation.
But wait, we also know that for some people, this is going to be very hard. So even if you only did it every other month or every 3 months, it brings you so much closer together, because it brings the two of you together. And, that's hard with everything else that's going on. So don't dismiss it and simply say that, oh, who has time and blah, blah, blah.
You can find time, especially when it's in your own hometown.
Right.
It's so easy to do because you're literally driving maybe 10 or 15 minutes. In Los Angeles, we drive maybe 15 minutes, which is like a mile in Los Angeles, to get to where we're going.
Not always that bad, but frequently sometimes.
Yeah, and it's really easy. And what's great is that you know the area, you know where things are, and you're close. If anything did happen, you just run home and run back.
Most important, it really opens up the communication between you and your partner, which brings you closer together. And that's what this is all about.
So we encourage you, if you'd like to have more information about what we do, you can find us at couplesuccess.com. And we hope this helps. And we enjoyed talking with you today about your summertime staycation.
Yes. Thank you. See you.
Okay.